Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Cobra Kai Studios for another fan questions video. Sorry, I was sick the last few days, so I didn't get one made yesterday. Feeling a little better today, so I wanted to get one out. This is going to be the second time recording this because I got through almost recording it and my phone overheated and didn't save a single thing. Go figure. But we're going to try this again. Hopefully this time it doesn't decide to get to the end and be like, oh, guess what? Gotta redo it. Anyways, let's start this off. First question we're going to get into is, do you think Robbie is hiding in his old apartment or Mr. Miyagi's house by chance? I could see, for sure, Aaron, I think that this is a good question. I could see Robbie actually going to his old apartment. That would make a lot of sense, actually, because obviously after season 2, he's going to want to go hide out. He don't even know what all might happen to him, considering what happened with Robbie and Miguel in that fight. So I could see that being a very big possibility. I would say, yeah. I don't know that he'd go to Miyagi's house. Maybe he might. That could be a possibility too, where we might see Daniel and him run into each other, which also could lead to the next speculation of him and Robbie going to Okinawa together. Yeah, we don't see that in the trailer, but maybe. I'd say it's a slim chance on that one. I wouldn't have high hopes on that one actually becoming a truth or reality, but nonetheless, I do see him going to his old apartment, though. I could definitely see that being the case. So, what do you think? What do you think Robbie's going to go or turn to leading up to the beginning of Season 3? Obviously, he's going to have to go somewhere. There was a lot of conflict aware, so what do you think? What's your personal opinion on that? Me, personally, I do believe that he might actually go to his old apartment. It would make sense for him to go to his old apartment, so why wouldn't he? You know what I mean? Next question is, do you think that Daniel might have a deed to somewhere in Okinawa after Mr. Miyagi died? I would say possibility. There's a high speculation of that being the case. Obviously, Mr. Miyagi left Daniel's son a lot of things when he died, which is kind of the whole conflict of what if Mr. Miyagi had kids and he didn't leave anything to them but left it all to Daniel? Do you think that's a possibility? I don't know. I would say no. I feel like Mr. Miyagi might have kids outside of the country, maybe in Okinawa, that we just don't know about. And maybe he just wasn't on good terms. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. That's a tough question, but it's a really mind-puzzling question to think about. Who Mr. Miyagi might have had relationships with there in Okinawa, who he might have maybe had kids with. Do you think Mr. Miyagi had kids that we don't know about? What do you think? Feel free to leave comments. These videos are all about us fans in Cobra Kai. Now, most of the time, there's not direct answers to any of these questions, at least not yet. So this is all speculation on my part, my ideas. And of course, my ideas are not always going to be accurate or they're going to conflict with what you think about the show. And that's the point of these videos. We're not going to agree on everything, and I don't want us to agree on everything. It makes it much more interesting for us to have different ideas on these theories and speculations. Otherwise, why even make the questions videos if we all just agree and think the same thing? Yeah, it's fun to talk about at the same time if we do agree, but we also need disagreements because that arises for different theories and possibilities. And who doesn't like theories and possibilities? That's one of my favorite things about this show, is that there's so much to the show that we get to speculate about and don't have the answers to yet, which keeps us interested and drawn into the show itself. Next question. How do you think Daniel finds out about Sam was dating Miguel? I just think that's something he kind of picked up on, honestly. If in the show, it kind of plays out that way. Obviously, you know that Miguel wants to be introduced to Daniel, and then he kind of figures out from Johnny that there's a big conflict with that, and that, Johnny tells him the LaRussos are bad news and you need to stay away from him. So I don't know, I just think that's something that's kind of just like the same with the whole Daniel and Amanda figuring out that Sam and Robbie were dating. Obviously, after that night, whenever Robbie and Sam go to Johnny's house, which Johnny, openly accepts them, and then Daniel shows up, kicks the door in, starts their little bit of what I was hoping was going to be a full-blown fight between Johnny and Daniel, but we don't actually get that. So, it is what it is. I know eventually we're going to get a fight from them. Whether it be a full fight or not, I don't know. Just like I really hope one day we see them team up, which I think that'll happen in Season 3 because of the way things have kind of turned, especially with Kreese taking over Cobra Kai. Obviously, Daniel's going to find out about this, whether it be from Johnny, whether it be from his own self, going and figuring out when he gets back from Okinawa. Whatever be the case, obviously that's something we can expect to see. Don't know for sure. But what do you think? What do you think about that? Another question that I know is kind of one that most of us could probably kind of speculate on. Does Hawk still have feelings for Moon? I would say 100%. Yeah, Moon seems to be moving on. She has a girlfriend. She doesn't seem to be showing any interest in getting back with Hawk. But that doesn't mean that Hawk doesn't have interest in Moon still. I would say 100% with certainty that, yes, Hawk has feelings for Moon in some way. So I think that that's something that we're going to see play out in a way. I think we're going to see Hawk trying to regain his relationship with Moon. Whether he does or not, I would say probably not. I'm going to assume that they're not going to be a thing again ever. But I feel like that's going to be something that Hawk always tries to regain. Obviously, he got a tattoo for Moon, which is dumb. You don't ever want to do that. But, it's something he did. Now, I could see him getting that covered up in a future episode maybe, or something along that lines. Who knows? Next question is an interesting one. Do you think that Aisha's mom and dad transferred her to a new school and took her out of Cobra Kai Dojo? If you look online, she is not going to be in Season 3. They apparently couldn't find a way to fit her into the show for Season 3. And there's also speculation that she wanted too much money to be in Season 3. I guess she assumed she was a really important part of the show. I don't know what happened there. But I would say they're going to have to write her off in some way. So I could see that being something that they mention. Obviously, if she's not going to be in Season 3, then they're not going to show it. But I could see it maybe, whether it be Kreese mention it, one of the other one of the other students maybe mentions that she moved. Something like that I would see happening just because of the fact that it's stated she's not going to be in the seasons moving forward. What do you think? Do you think that that's something that's accurate? Do you think the internet's actually true on that she's not going to be in Season 3? Most of the things seem pretty positive that that's the case. She's not going to be in the Season 3 or any other season moving forward. Not to say that they won't for sure bring her back at some point, but as of right now, apparently she's not going to be in the show. Do you think that Mr. Miyagi knew that John Kreese was not dead in The Karate Kid Part 3? Mr. Miyagi was so smart and very intellectual. I would say yes. I would think that maybe he didn't know for sure, but I'd say he had high speculation that he was not dead. I would say that for sure. I would also say that Mr. Miyagi probably knew a lot of things about Kreese that's not actually mentioned in the show or in the movies, but was kind of just played off because it wasn't important at the time. If Mr. Miyagi and Sato had a fight in Karate Kid Part 2, who would win? Ooh, that one's a good one. I would say Miyagi would win. I would, honestly, I think that would be who I would go for if I was to ever have seen that fight. I would say who would win. Who do you think would win? Mr. Miyagi or Sato? Don't know. This is where we need Banzai Kai Dojo to pop in with the Sato. I always love that puppet. That's my favorite one that Banzai Kai Dojo does. Sensei does that one, and Johnny. Those two are my favorite that he does impressions of. They're great. If you haven't seen them, you need to obviously watch some of his videos because they're amazing. But I thought that was interesting. I would have to say, though, for sure, without a doubt, I would say that, honestly, I think Mr. Miyagi would win that fight. Hands down. Just something I think. Do you think that the school will have a meeting and all the parents to find out what happened to their kids? I would say, yeah, probably so. I would think that would be something we would expect to see. Obviously, they're not going to want to promote that happening to their kids in any way, so they're going to want to kind of make a meeting and explain why this isn't going to happen again, how this isn't going to happen. If you've ever been in situations like that at school. I've never was in a fight at school, honestly, so I don't know how that would play out, but I've had friends that was, and there was like not really a school fight, obviously, like that, but there was a conflict between people at school before, and yeah, they actually had an assembly about it to kind of explain how they're not going to let this happen again, etc., 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 So, yeah, maybe we might could see something along that lines happening. Will Hawk have a new girlfriend in Cobra Kai season 3 or 4? Yeah, I imagine that's undoubtable to happen. Obviously, I feel like since Moon found her someone, he's going to find someone else too to try to make Moon jealous. I don't think it'll be in all good intentions at first. Not to say that he won't actually become attached to whoever he ends up being with. But yeah, I'd say that that's probably something we could see as a conflict of interest between Hawk and Moon. That Hawk will find someone else to be with. Who knows who it'll be? I've seen some speculation of it being Hawk and Tori. I don't know about that one. Maybe if Tori doesn't, stay with Miguel, maybe. But at the same time, I feel like Tori's going to still want to try to remain with Miguel. And I feel like Sam and Robbie are going to still become a thing or remain a thing. Maybe not, though. A lot of people kind of want to see Sam and Miguel become a couple again. And I don't know about that one. Maybe it could happen. It's not to say, let's not rule it out. But I don't know if that's going to be what we see. I guess we'll just have to wait on that one. What do you think? Do you think that Hawk will have a new girlfriend in season 3 or 4? I imagine if he's going to have a new girlfriend, it's probably going to be in season 3. Might be towards the end. It might not. Who knows? Do you think that Terry Silver will train Sam to get revenge on Daniel for what happened in the All Valley tournament? No, I don't think that's the case. I don't see Sam working with Terry Silvers if he was to return. Now, this is going to be really speculative. I could see Robbie, maybe. If Daniel doesn't want to accept Robbie again, then maybe. And then again, Robbie could just go and join with his dad, which has kind of been something a lot of people wanted to see this entire time. Or maybe he'll just straight up join his enemy, Kreese. I don't know, though. I would think that Robbie will stay with Daniel in all personal opinion. And I feel like Sam's obviously going to stay in Miyagi-Do. Yeah, she's going to be upset with her dad. But she's not upset in the way that Amanda was. Amanda was the main person that really wanted the karate over with. She wanted no more Miyagi-Do, no more training, no more karate. She wanted Daniel to just give it all up. And it's not going to happen, obviously. We wouldn't have seen him go to Okinawa and be training with Chosen in the, little teaser that we get. Another thing that I've noticed, TV Theories put a video up yesterday, and a couple other YouTubers, I can't remember the other YouTuber, I've seen a couple of YouTubers on this Easter egg, found a new Easter egg in the trailer that is a tower that is from the Cobra Kai cartoon. Now, I don't know what that could actually mean, what that could, possibly lead up to moving forward. But I thought that was really interesting nonetheless. I always love these Easter eggs. I can't wait till I get to do my Easter egg video. But as I've stated before, I want to make sure that all my information is accurate. I want to make sure I'm giving the proper shout-outs to the people that found these Easter eggs, as well as make sure Easter eggs I found are not, credited to someone else finding them, because I don't want to steal anybody's credit. Credit's due where credit's due. And in our community, we want to keep things all positive. We don't want to take anybody's information and portray it as my own. Obviously, anything I talk about is my speculations, not facts. If it is a fact, I will state it and share the information proving it being a fact. But anyways, moving forward, I want to see Daniel and Johnny join forces. You know what? Me too. I really do. Yes, I want to see them fight, but I would also like to see them team up as well. I feel like that would be an amazing episode or two, because I don't feel like that would be something we see a whole season happen, because, let's be honest, the conflict between them two is pretty big. Honestly, they both have their wrongs and their rights of what's happened. Obviously, I feel like Daniel's son was the real bully between a lot of things that happened. Not that it was all his fault. I highly believe that others behind the show, aka Terry Silvers, in the Karate Kid and such, caused a lot of this conflict. Not to be proven fact, but it's just a lot of speculation there. So what do you think? What do you think about that? Do you want to see Daniel and Johnny join forces, or do you want them to remain enemies the entire Cobra Kai? Interesting question. Do you think that Terry Silvers opened the Karate Kid, the Cobra Kai in the Valley, like he said in the Karate Kid Part 3? I would say maybe. Obviously, Terry Silvers plays a bigger role behind the scenes for Cobra Kai than most know. But at the same time, I don't know that that's the case. I don't know that they want to mention too much about any other Cobra Kai, because this show is specifically kind of focused on the Cobra Kai that Johnny restarted. Yeah, Kreese took it over, But at the same time, that kind of leaves a lot of people. I've looked at some Reddit things that were interesting, that a lot of people speculate, what if Johnny just goes and opens another Cobra Kai? Can he do that? I mean, if Creeks is working with Silvers behind the scenes, then probably not. He probably couldn't do that legally. But at the same time, no one knows how Johnny was even able to open Cobra Kai to begin with without Silver's permission. So it's kind of like, has Johnny asked permission to open Cobra Kai by Silvers? Did he get the okay? Did he just decide that it doesn't matter, he's going to open it anyways, regardless of the situation? Maybe he thinks or assumes Terry Silvers is dead. He obviously thought that with Kreese. So why would he maybe not think that about Silvers? And he just decided, hey, they're dead, so they ain't going to know. Why would it matter? I'm just going to open this, dojo and go from there. What do you think about that? Kind of interesting. This one's a kind of puzzling question. What if Tori is Amanda's niece? I don't know about that, because if Tori was Amanda's niece, then that would mean Amanda's sister is Tori's mom. And for that to be the case, I don't know. We don't know enough about Amanda's backstory, really. But I would assume she came from at least a moderately wealthy family to at least decent family, maybe. I don't know. We don't know for sure on that. But, I mean, just because that's the case doesn't mean that her sister, if it was Amanda's sister, couldn't still be poor. So, yeah, I guess that could actually be a possibility, really. It's not one I hear talked about, and it's definitely the first time I've seen that as a question, if it was Tori's Amanda's niece. That would be interesting. Nonetheless, that would be really, really interesting. But, if that was the case, then Sam would have already knew who Tori was. You know what I mean? Like, she would have had to have met her at a family gathering or something along the lines, unless that Tori's mom had a grudge against Amanda and didn't want the two meeting ever, never wanted to introduce each other's family to each other. I don't know. I could see a lot of conflict to why that would be a no, but it would make an interesting plot twist regardless. So I like the question. That was a nice question, Aaron. Do you think that Terry Silver trained Tori in karate? Okay, my speculation on Tori being trained, I feel like, and a lot of people feel this way too, it was either that she was trained by someone that's not important to the show moving forward, or she was self-taught. And what I mean by that is, with the day and age of technology, you can go online and learn pretty much anything about martial arts. You can learn the moves online. So, I mean, who's to say she's not self-taught? You can learn a lot of things online nowadays. Now, obviously, she wouldn't know everything accurately, because learning from an app or a video is not going to be the same as learning from a master that was trained by someone else in martial arts. So, if that's the case, then that, I don't know. It would explain why maybe she didn't know exactly certain things when she first joins the scene, and why she still progressed to learn moving forward in Cobra Kai. So, what do you think? Do you think she was self-taught? Do you think someone bigger behind the scenes taught her? Or you think she was just, maybe took Taekwondo or Tang Soo Do or karate in some other dojo before Cobra Kai existed? Obviously, Cobra Kai is not the only studio or dojo, whatever you want to call them, in the city, because there wouldn't be an all-valley karate tournament with all these different dojos participating. So, who's to say she wasn't taught by a different master? Now, obviously, I'd say she has some kind of knowledge moving into the show, because she was ready to fight Miguel right off the bat. Obviously, she's ready to show that she knew some things. I know how that was whenever I went from my original Taekwondo master to my new, who would be my current Taekwondo master. That's how it was for me. I came into it, now at the time I was already a purple belt from my previous Taekwondo, but I came into it and I wanted to start over as a white belt. Main reason being is, like I explained before, there's many different trainings, even if they're Taekwondo and the other one's Taekwondo. The two masters were taught by different people, so the training and everything in it is going to be different, and that was the case. I wanted to learn his ways from the ground up, which allowed me to progress quicker than other students, but at the same time I already had knowledge, so I was able to kind of just jump in there and get going. My very first night I was sparring with their red belt and yellow belts and everybody that was higher belt than me the very first day of joining the dojo, so that was a lot of fun. Do you think that Robbie's mom will return? Yes, I do feel like that's going to be something we see. I feel like we're going to honestly see his mom return in season 3, especially after what happened. Now, I don't know if she'll care, because she doesn't seem like the best mother, but at the same time, it's like, I think that, yeah, we'll probably see her return in some way. What do you think? Before this video gets over, I wanted to go into this because this was interesting. Just a quick note. If Cobra Kai does not come out on January 2nd, what if it comes out June 9th or July 9th? Because in episode 9, season 1, when he's buying beer, the expiration date on the beer is 6/9/21. What if that's an Easter egg? Okay, if that's an Easter egg, it would have to be a more something they would play into now, because they had plans of season 3 coming out this year, obviously in like April or May. Obviously it didn't, because they changed platforms and everything like that, and I don't think they knew that was going to happen. Now, they could use that moving forward just because it's something that they know is in the show that would play out in a way that we wouldn't expect. But I wouldn't count on it, and I really don't want to count on it, because I hope we get the show quicker than July or June. I would honestly rather see it in January, but there's not enough proof that that's actually when we're going to get it. There's just a high amount of speculation on that. So, I don't know for right now. It would be nice if we did, but at the same time, I don't know that that's something we can expect. The last question we're going to get into before we end this video is, who's a Hawk fan? Are you a fan of Hawk? I will state I was a fan of Hawk, but as he progressed in the show, my opinion of him changed. But, like I said before, his character is needed in the show. It adds a aspect to the show that we needed. We needed someone, obviously, to be kind of the villain in this whole sense, and Hawk plays that role very good. So, that's my opinion on Hawk. What's yours? I guess that's going to be it for today, everyone. I hope you all have a great day. I want to thank Bonsai Kai Dojo, all my moderators, all of my subscribers, everyone that's not a subscriber but still watch the video. I hope y'all have a great day, and, well, we'll see you on the next one. Stay badass, everyone.